Many Earth centuries ago, we Martians were at war with the Mercurians, residents of Mercury. We fought for countless years, decimating all visible life on both of our planets and forcing one another into our spaceships. But as the war dragged on, both sides harbored an increasing desire for peace, desperate to return and rebuild our once beautiful planets. It was then that we reached a truce, a ceasefire agreement bound by a sacred ritual. The King of Mercury married the Queen of Mars, and the two were bound together by a powerful relic, a ring forged from rare metals and imbued with untold power. For many years, neither race bore any ill will towards the other. The original reason for the war was long forgotten, and we all lived in peace together. It was a wonderful decadent period of time, one we all wished would last forever. But even then, there remained some who craved war. A few militants reared their heads now and then, seeking to disrupt the peace we had all worked so hard to attain. And one day, following the assassination of the King of Mercury, they succeeded. They stole his ring and launched it into the cosmos, desperate to prevent another bonding from ever occurring. Worse, as per their plan, mistrust over the assassination broke out, and our races faced off against one another once more. So you see, that is why I need that ring. If I do not bond with the wearer of that ring, it is only a matter of time before our planets become barren wastelands once more. I listened closely to Sien's story, absorbing as much information as I could retain. I found it hard to believe that the ring on my finger, so ordinary in appearance, size, and weight, could be so important. Even so, as Sienna finished talking, one question bothered me more than any other. But why me? The ritual was just a gesture, right? Isn't the important part that the one you marry is from Mercury? No, that is incorrect. I apologize for using misleading terminology, but marriage is the closest thing you humans have to our bonding ritual. You see, unlike marriage, causes both parties to undergo a change. Two entities form an unbreakable bond, one which binds their very lives together, such that the death of one would mean the death of the other. In return for the life bond, one party increases their strength proportionally to the binding relic. If I, the Queen, were to attain the power of this ring, I could unite Mars and Mercury forevermore. Sienna spoke of enough power to rule the two planets, but even then she didn't appear to be happy in the slightest. The happy, naive, forceful woman I met only yesterday was gone, replaced by a reluctant ruler. Poor Sienna, I never would have imagined she had it so tough. Either she gets married to whoever the ring chooses for her, or her home planet descends into war. If I were in her shoes, I don't know what I'd do. So, it doesn't matter if your partner isn't from Mercury? Not at all. As the offspring of the late Queen and King, I am half Martian, half Mercurian. My very existence is enough to unite both planets. All I need now is power, the power of the ring. This ring, the ring I selfishly, unknowingly bound to my own body. If it weren't for my curiosity, Sienna would have nothing to worry about. She'd have the ring, free to choose her own path, and I'd be none the wiser. But now, I understand that this is a big decision. Whatever is not an act to be taken lightly. Nonetheless, I must ask that you expedite your decision. I will give you 1 Earth day to consider my proposal. The day after Sienna left me with her proposal, I'm assuming that's my life continued in a relatively normal fashion. I said goodbye to my father, who was still trapped inside of our pet goldfish, ate breakfast, cleaned my alien wedding ring, and headed to school. Just a normal morning without any talk of aliens or interplanetary wars or ceremonies of any kind. Even so, after such an abnormal day, there was no way I could go about my day in peace. Every waking moment I wondered about what had happened and the choice Sienna left me. I stayed up most of the night thinking about it, but this really isn't a decision I should be rushing. Getting married is a huge deal, especially since I'd be marrying into royalty. I'd have my own servants, I'd rule over a planet. If nothing else, it certainly wouldn't be boring. I could experience an entirely new way of life, not to mention all of the cool alien technology. And yet, do I really have the guts? I've only just met Sienna. I couldn't do something as impulsive as marry her, could I? This whole situation is utterly absurd. How can I even consider going through with it? And then Benjamin Franklin said, "Hey Azur, are you listening to me? It would be exciting, and no life on Earth could ever compare to it. But what would I be getting myself into? I need more time, more information. The way things are, I can't." Azur. What's happening? I knew it. You fell asleep in class again. I didn't fall asleep, I just... No more excuses. Go to the vice principal's office right now. Not again. I knew I shouldn't have bothered coming to school today. With another boring day coming to an end, I quickly made my way home. Despite being in school for the day, I spent most of my time outside of class being reprimanded for my behavior. As a result, the day passed even more slowly than usual, giving me ample time to think about Sienna's proposal. "Sienna, are you here?" I shouted into my silent home as I entered the living room. However, I could see neither hide nor hair of Sienna. My father, who was laying on the floor and floundered like a fish out of water, was the only person I could see. "Sienna?" I entered my bedroom, softly calling out as I entered. "Ah, you've returned. How was the learning prison? Have you fulfilled your sentence for today?" I considered correcting Sienna, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized there was nothing to correct. I guess so, though I spent very little time actually attending class. I was mostly trapped in detention. Ah, I see. So that's what it means to have a detention. A person from the learning prison called, asking for your father, and informed me that you had a detention. I asked her to elaborate, but she just told me about you, not about this concept of captivity within captivity. Frickin' Nat. Once again, I couldn't fault Sienna's summation. It's not like I was trying to get in trouble, I was just deep in thought. You mean to say it's my fault that you were punished? No, that's not what I'm saying. I don't blame you for that. But you're right. That is what I was thinking about. Frickin' Nat, I swear to God. Probably just broke somebody's ears with that, but whatever. I see. Even after thinking it over all day, it was a difficult decision. It's difficult to reach a decision. Okay, this frickin' Nat, I swear to God, been bugging me all day. And it comes and goes and it pisses me off. A single day was not enough to reach a decision on something as irreversible and life-changing as marrying the queen of another planet. Nonetheless, as my deadline approached, I knew what I decided to do. I knew what I wanted to do. Sienna, I want to... Whatever. You. Eh? What are you saying? Where did you learn to speak like that? Huh? Did I say it wrong? I mean, that certainly is a stage of whatever, but still, to jump straight to that... did I say something wrong? I was trying to use the word you used yourself, but I must have said it incorrectly. What I'm trying to say is, Sienna, will you marry me? Eh? You mean it? You'll marry me after all? That's right. Sienna, even if we barely know each other, the truth is my life has been more interesting these past few days than it has the rest of my life. If a life with you is even half as enjoyable, then I want to spend the rest of my life with you. You really mean it? You're not just saying this out of pity or a sense of duty as the ring bearer, are you? No way. I wouldn't sign my life away over something as silly as that. Sienna, if you'll have me, then I want to be your king. Sienna continued to stare into my eyes with a look of pure joy on her face. Tears formed in the corners of her eyes, though never streaming down her cheeks. Ah, jeez. If Sienna starts crying, then I won't be able to hold back either. Driven both by curiosity and a desire to keep Sienna from crying, I moved on to the next step. So, Sienna, what do we do now? How do we perform that ritual thing you were talking about? Really? What are you talking about, dear? You already said it yourself. We... blah blah. In other words... Really? So this is what they were talking about? Well, this is gonna get interesting, guys. Here we go. In other words, we consummate our marriage. Consummate? I don't get it. Well then, let me show you. Okay, if you're under 18, don't watch this part, I guess. Sienna closed the distance between us, taking my body into her arms. She held me close, tightly squeezing my face in her breasts. Nice. Sienna, what the heck are you doing? Shh, just leave it to me. I may not have any experience, but if my partner is my fated Azure, then I'll do my best. Okay. I'm assuming this is going to be very detailed, so depending on how bad it is, I may edit it out. If you want to play it yourself and figure all this nasty stuff out, then you can go and play it. If it's not that bad, then I'll include it in the video.
20 minutes later.
Please tell me that's over. I need another drink. Oh my gosh. That was really painful to read. I mean, I'm not really bashful, but God, that's just awkward. After a long night of passionate lovemaking, Sienna and I awoke in each other's arms. Though we both cleaned up and, oh, you better clean up, and dressed before bed, there were still obvious stains on the bed sheets, and just looking at Sienna was enough to make me blush. Even so, after making up my mind yesterday, I knew what I needed to do. Are you really sure about this? If you don't want to go, nobody will force you. Will you stop saying that? I've already made up my mind. Okay. Well then, is there anything you need to do or bring? Interplanetary travel is neither easy nor instantaneous. We won't be able to return for a while if you forget something. Hey, who do you think you're talking to? I have everything I need right here. I patted the suitcase I packed less than 1 hour ago. Inside were mostly clothes, but I also packed a picture of my family, some snacks for the trip, and a couple of books. Really? Then I suppose you'll at least want to say goodbye to your father first. My father? Why would I want to do that? I love Papa, but there's no way I could even begin to explain all of this. So let's just leave him alone. I see. So be it then. I'll put your father in his original body and we'll be on our way. Sienna touched her arm guard as though typing on a computer. She input the necessary commands and a moment later sounds began to emanate from downstairs. My eyes! Dear God, what happened to my eyes? Oops. I guess that's what happens when you go a few days without blinking. Your father appears to be in a lot of pain. Oh, don't you worry about him. He's tough. Right. Well, just remember all of this when you become a father. Me? Become a father? Good one, Sienna. But I know that's not possible. Even if a girl can be king, it's still impossible for me to impregnate someone. Oh, I see. So 2 partners must be of the opposite sex for procreation between humans to work, huh? That explains a lot. But we aren't humans, are we? Not both of us, at least. So worry not, my king. I shall bear your child yet. You will? Absolutely. In fact, after the wild night we shared last night, I have little doubt that your seed has already been planted. Dang. What are you talking about? How is that possible? It's simple. During our bonding, we exchanged ample body fluids. Oh, I know all about that because I read every word. Using the excessive amount of DNA I extracted from you, my body will begin to create and nurture life. This is how humans procreate too, correct? Well, she's not wrong, but I don't know if I'm really cut out to be a father. But there's no use complaining about it now. Indeed. Well then, let us be off. We have a planet to rule, my liege, and a lot of work ahead of us. The end. Wow. Okay. That was a trip. Definitely a trip. Oh man, that was a trip. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it, despite all the awkwardness of that specific super long scene. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'm probably gonna cut out that scene. Not sure yet. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next series.